What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Every once in a while, I feel compelled to do a random TV show. This one, though, was pretty damn unique at the time. Seeing as Raw was in Las Vegas, they opted to spice things up, and it made for a very memorable occasion. The Raw Roulette special was so damn good that the concept was used about every year. When people think of Raw Roulette, this is probably the first episode they think of. It's either this or the one after it, the one in 2003. But enough talk, I don't really got much to say. Let's go back to the Katie Vick era of Raw. Okay, Eric Bischoff kicked off the show talking about the concept, and it was revealed that the first match was inside a steel cage. Everyone was hype, the Raw intro plays, Pyro goes out, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler introduced everybody to the show, and it was time for the first match. Booker T faced Big Show in a steel cage match. Now, of course, Booker was over. He was slowly gaining momentum as the weeks went by and was in a way better position compared to 2001. The Big Show, he was just there. For that change, though, he was actually getting angry as the weeks went by, and we, of course, know how it ended up for him. Immediately, Booker brought the fight and paid the price with a sidewalk slam. He tossed him to the corner, but took a kick. Booker received this wacky clothesline, the Rikishi special, and was being punished. He was being rammed to the cage like a rag doll, and Big Show had no regard for him. He didn't give a damn and was taking his time and inflicting damage. And I would talk about it, but it was pretty redundant, Anyways, Booker evaded Big Show's offense and caught him with a spin kick, but it didn't really do much in the grand scheme of things. Big Show's doing some of the same mold, and he mistakenly preferred to continue the match and gave Booker some hope. However, he quickly shut it down. At one point, he even spat in Booker's face, and the moment he tried escaping, his opponent starts fighting back. The crowd's hot for this one. He's persisted on the attack and actually accomplished something with a scissors kick. Booker slowly climbed the cage, but since Big Show's getting up anyways, he caught him with a super scissors kick, and even then, Big Show caught up to him. Things are looking real bad for Big Show, because Booker low-blowed him and climbed the hell out of there. Not a favorite of mine. Some of Big Show's action was just there, but once Booker fought back, it picked up big time and it got real interesting. This was probably the perfect match to open up the show, because it wasn't exactly a blood feud or anything like that, but the stipulation showed that anything can happen, If it landed on this, who knows, it could land on any other choice. And we all know what happened later on. All of a sudden, Chris Jericho came out and assaulted Booker, delivering strikes, rammed him into the cage, and to top it all off, he busted him open. He was constantly asking the fans who's the sucker, and all they could do was boo. Backstage, Bischoff was proud of the chaos unfolding, and he thought that Kane and Hurricane were befitting of Las Vegas, and questioned Kane's intentions for no mercy. He claimed Kane was greedy, and for that booked him in a tag team title match before spinning the wheel. It landed on TLC, and I actually don't think this was the first time in about a year and a half that the TLC match had occurred. What I love about the concept is the fact that it was sold as such a dangerous match, a match that takes years off careers, and to show just how big of a deal TLC was in the early 2000s, the next match wouldn't occur until 2006. See? We have one every year now. With regards to Chris Jericho, he refused to be treated like a joke. Goldust said Fozzy sucked. Booker called him a sucker. He pointed to the blood in his hands and warned anyone that tried to disrespect him. Meanwhile, a blindfold match was revealed for tonight with Triple H whining about it. He couldn't believe that such match was going to occur. I'm the world champion, damn it, or whatever the hell he was saying. Then Ric Flair suddenly introduced two ladies, and since this was 2002 Raw, we all know why. William Regal pops up complaining about these weird stipulations, claiming he's a gentleman and a regular wrestling match for himself is enough. Bischoff was all about controversy and he spun the wheel, and it landed on Las Vegas Showgirls, and what this meant was Regal was dressing like a showgirl. Goldust made fun of him. Regal was at a loss of words. A random vignette of Batista's aired, and for those of you wanting the Evolution remake, don't worry, it's on my mind as well. We just gotta finish some other long videos. The next match is a blindfold match. Triple H faces the man himself, D'Lo Brown. His entrance here was so damn hilarious. It's like he heard he's getting the European title. Okay, the bell rings. Both men were awkwardly pacing around the ring, unaware of their surroundings. The crowd was raucous, except for this guy. Apparently, he was interested in TNA. They locked up. Triple H was talking to nobody and paid the price for it. And once the game finally got his hands on D'Lo, this amounted to nothing. D'Lo even hit sky high, but Ric Flair instructed the game to do something. He distracted the ref, and the champion took off the blindfold, hit D'Lo in the gut, and performed the pedigree for the 1-2-3. Dumb stuff, but I'm going to be honest, I really enjoyed it due to the very unique situation. It was very weird but fun in my opinion. I don't know what the hell the consensus is about this match. As I said, it's dumb, it's silly, but somewhat enjoyable. Backstage, Bischoff wanted Christian, Bubba, and Jeff Hardy in a TLC match, and these men were fearing for their lives. They saw just how brutal the TLC match was, but Bischoff was hard-headed, and all he could do was give them the choice of a tag team partner. He was all happy, but his mood took a 180 when Goldust popped up. This is a minor thing to mention, but I like how the babyfaces weren't exactly valiant or anything like that. They knew how dangerous the TLC match was and didn't exactly want to compete in it. It's just something I appreciate. The next match was a Las Vegas Showgirls match. Goldust faced William Regal. Regal had to be dragged out of there forcefully, and the crowd was lapping it up. They even played some showgirl music, and I don't know what it is with WWE, but they certainly love to dress Regal up. Immediately, Goldust went after him and wasn't wasting any time, and all of a sudden, Lance Storm popped up. This worked in Regal's favor greatly as he hit Goldust with a brass knucks. All of a sudden, he's groovy, and he actually wins the match. This gave me Attitude Era vibes with the match length. It literally lasted 53 seconds, and I always loved Regal's facial reactions. Like here, he was absolutely hilarious with those looks. He'd be like, what the hell? It's just something special about him, and in my opinion, he's one of the best in that department. Like, he's one of the best in facial reactions, and he always enhances the segment he's in with those reactions. They're just so damn good. The match itself, despite the length, was pretty damn entertaining, and these two would have yet another match on Raw Roulette 7 years later where they literally traded gimmicks. Meanwhile, Christian was talking about TLC, and he said that since he was in it, he'd like to win it, and having any of the Un-Americans as his partner would be terrible. Chris Jericho popped up and mentioned how he won TLC 3, and mentioned how he had a bone to pick with Kane and suggested himself as Christian's partner. He obliged, and it was confirmed. In other places, Bischoff told Stacy and Trish that they're going to wrestle in a paddle on a pole match. Trish Stratus wasn't proud of the stipulation, and instead, Bischoff rigged the wheel to land on bra and panties, meaning it's 2 matches in 1. And all of a sudden, Bischoff just randomly smacked Stacy's ass like it was nothing. Wow. Meanwhile, Bubba Ray was desperate for a partner and asked for Tommy Dreamer. Spike looked anything but thrilled because he never got the chance to properly team up with Dubba. What the hell is Dubba? He ended up giving in, and Spike was the partner. The next match was bra, paddle, and panties. Stacy Keibler faced Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus had an early version of Time to Rock and Roll with Lil' Kim. It starts very differently. I think she's like, I'm gonna keep doing me or something along the lines of that. With that said, Stacy was jello of Trish, I guess, and quickly attacked. The women's champion struggled to bounce back initially with Stacy pulling her hair, choking her, but just when she touched her top, Trish retaliated. She was actually starting to do something, but Stacy tossed her into the corner and stripped her of her top. The champion, though, quickly bounced back and took her top off, and the fans, of course, are getting louder and louder as time went on. Little trickery, and it seemed like Trish was getting stripped, but she rolled through and scored the W. Stacy was angry with this and brought in the paddle, but she accomplished nothing, though, and took a whooping herself. Suddenly, Victoria popped up, and right out of the gate, they engaged in a brawl. Both women were ramming each other into the barricade, into the apron, and it seemed pretty even, but Victoria over time was more aggressive. She concluded the attack with a big boot, a body slam, and a moonsault. Well, at least that's what I thought, because it turns out I'm wrong. Bunch of referees coming, and that was it. What's there to say about that match? For a women's match from that time, it was very basic, extremely basic, and the intention here was not to have a good match. Jeff Hardy backstage revealed his partner, Rob Van Dam. Victoria, meanwhile, claimed that she did this because of Trish's past, and since she got hurt in the past, it's her turn. Okay, there's a bunch of backstage segments during the show. It's something I noticed a lot in 2002 Raw. There's just a lot of backstage segments. The next match was between Test and the returning Al Snow. Test got the jobber treatment, whereas Al Snow was the returning hero. Bischoff popped up on the Titantron, and the wheel landed on the Las Vegas street fight. Right when the bell rang, both men went searching for weapons. They were scrambling for a slight advantage, and it was Test who got it. He whacked Snow with a sign and got the whole rope thing. Snow used some dice to assault him before going up top and landing on a stop sign. Test got ahead of himself and got Russian leg sweep. That Test was all about whacking Snow in the face, and it was always how he'd take back control. On the other side of things, Al Snow was showing resiliency. He countered a suplex attempt by dropping Test onto a garbage can before catching him with a crossbody. It was anybody's match. Test was looking for something, but Snow used the lid of the garbage can and brought in a bowling ball. Test tried to fight back, but ultimately Snow's attack with lids, bowling balls, was too much for him. Or I'm just going to say, this was a really fun match. It was just two guys going out there wanting to kill each other. The crowd was into it, and so was I. For a Raw match, this was great. I'm not trying to say it was the best TV match of the year or anything like that, but it was meaningless entertainment. And if you were going to watch this show, this would most likely be your second favorite match. That's what I think. In the ring, Jerry Lawler and Stevie Richards were set to face off. Bischoff spins the wheel, and it's legal in Nevada. What that means, I don't know, but the Godfather and his hose pop up. King was looking like me whenever I play Here Comes the Pain, and the Godfather revealed that the winner rides on the Ho train. Richards quickly brought the fight. Jerry Chan intensifies. He's taking a beating, strikes, suplexes, but once Richard went up top, he lifted his foot. Even then, Stevie was hard-headed. Meanwhile, Ho's chant intensifies, and this, of course, motivates the King, who actually starts to retaliate. The King hits the fist drop, but Richards put his foot on the rope. This didn't hurt the King's chances, though, because Richards was unintelligent and found himself in an awkward situation, losing the match. Average. It's just there, and you can't really rate it. It lasted 2 minutes, and believe it or not, this was one of the Godfather's final appearances on Raw. There's not much to say about this other than the fact that they will never do something like this segment at all. Meanwhile, Terri Runnels interviewed Kane about TLC 4 and No Mercy. The Aussie champion said that for the first time in his life, he was happy. He was confident about his chances, and again, it's funny seeing him so outgoing and excited. I was working on the X-Pac video, And it was a 180. By the way, we're almost getting there with it. All of a sudden, the coach informed him that Ric Flair and Triple H beat up the Hurricane. By the time Kane came to his aid, the damage had been done. And the main event, TLC 4. Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy. Bubba and Spike Dudley. Christian and Chris Jericho challenged Kane alone for the World Tag Team Championships. Alright, I haven't watched this in so damn long. Before even the WWE Network was around, so of course I'm excited for this one. I've heard such great things about it over the years. Not so great concussions as well. Kane, right when the bell rang, brought the fight. He was standing his ground against 5 other men, and JR was asking for the king. Apparently it had disappeared. Jericho and Christian tried to steal it quickly but failed. RVD chants intensify the crowd's rabid. Van Dam and Hardy tried to drop the big red monster, but he was angry, full of fury, and obviously didn't go down. It wasn't until Jeff Hardy caught him with a clothesline. And the ring, Bubba was doing the helicopter ladder thing and was actually accomplishing something. But once again, Kane put a stop, and before he knew it, RVD went for the missile kick. Spike was launched into a ladder. Jericho and Christian were starting to get comfortable, working as a cohesive unit. And if I remember correctly, this was the first time they teamed up as a duo. Bubba broke through, and then Kane dropped Christian with a clothesline. Bubba then placed a ladder in the middle of the ring, but Kane caught him and hit that choke slam. Spike was showing heart, and as expected, fell on his ass. Y2J, though, finally put a stop to this rampage coming from Kane, and Christian followed up with the inverted DDT, and both men were eyeing some sort of table spot. Just as they were doing something, Van Dam inadvertently made the save. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand, thought it was time to steal the show, and he climbed up a ladder and connected with a leg drop. Bubba was going to capitalize, but Christian powerbombed him. After the commercial, Jericho bulldogged Bubba, and Christian dropped RVD with the inverted DDT. Now, on the topic of that bulldog, it caused Bubba to lose focus and memory of this match. Chris had to aid him greatly in making it to the end. Spike was thrown out like trash, fans are rallying Kane on, and he re-entered the match with a bang. He tipped Christian over, power slammed Jeff, and dominated him. It was a one-man team, but Jericho's chair stopped him dead in his tracks. Jeff and RVD started gaining momentum, and this culminated with the Van Terminator. The match was bananas. Jericho attempted to halt his momentum and received a suplex on top of the ladder, and they hit this ugly-looking suplex. Meanwhile, RVD was slowly climbing the rungs, and the fans had some hope, and once again, Bubba ruined everything. Now it was Y2J's turn, and similar to the others, he had a very unmerciful fall. Spike follows up, and Christian gets involved. He showed fight and that spirit, but Christian pushed him over the top rope and through a ladder. But wait, there's more. Because Bubba hit the Bubba Bomb on Christian, and Jeff and RVD hit their finishers. Well, unlike RVD though, Jeff missed and went directly through a table. Van Daminator, and it seemed like Van Dam had the titles. He had the match won, but Chris Jericho used the chair to take advantage and connect with the walls on top. Kane finally returned, and while he may have been beaten and battered, it didn't stop him from chokeslamming Y2J off the ladder. He sat up, climbed the rungs, and single-handedly won the match. Ridiculous. The fact that this match was on TV is astonishing. It was insanity. Every man took a dangerous spot, especially Bubba, who lost any sort of memory he had of this match. The story of Kane going at it alone was great as well. He looked like the biggest, the baddest guy out there. And also, I don't know if it's just me, but this TLC match seemed more violent and brutal than others. For sure, it's one of the very best TLC matches, one of the best television matches ever.
Katie Vick!
Oh, hell no. Yes, Triple H came out, said he knows about Kane's secret, that being Katie Vick, and revealed that Kane killed her. How deflating. But let's talk about the positives. Great performance from Jim Ross as well. He did not struggle in the light of King ditching him for the Godfather's girls. And the other guys too, they sacrificed their bodies, and fans like myself appreciate what they go through. Bubba's concussion, it's a sad story. He repeatedly asked Tommy Dreamer if his mom was picking him up from the hospital. And the sad part is his mother died months earlier. Dreamer had to improvise and tell him, oh, she's coming, after he asked a few times. He lost his memory. Overall, this Raw episode was wacky in a good way. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was extremely entertaining, and the concept really needs to come back. It's gotta. Almost every Raw Roulette episode was must watch. There's some simple episodes. If you're bored, just fire one up and you'll have fun. This Raw Roulette is, of course, first choice. If there's one Raw Roulette you must choose, it's this. The action wasn't out of this world, but the show passes by quickly, and the main event is one of the best in Raw's history. It was so damn good that it won the Match of the Decade award at Raw's 10th anniversary show. Amazing stuff. I had fun making this video as well as watching the show. And I want to know, do you guys think this is one of the greatest TLC matches ever? Like, it's a top 5 TLC match or not? That's what I want to know. Alright, what did you guys think of Raw Roulette? Please comment down below. And that's your first video. Make sure you hit the pedigree on the like button and perhaps the choke slam on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.